Have you ever felt like your prayers are just echoing in an empty room? That profound quiet can be one of the most challenging experiences of your life. You've poured out your heart, waited with an aching soul, and yet only stillness answers back. If that's where you are right now, I need you to hear this. When the universe seems silent, it is never a sign of abandonment. When answers are delayed, it isn't a signal that you've been forgotten. This quiet is not rejection, it is recalibration. And when the response finally comes after a season of quiet, it doesn't arrive subtly. It breaks through the fog of your uncertainty with events that leave no question about its origin. This universal silence is one of life's ultimate tests of inner strength. It peels away every false notion of control. It compels you to listen with a part of yourself you rarely use. It softens a rigid spirit and fortifies the one who genuinely trusts. Many people quit during the quiet. They interpret the stillness as a final, closed door. But those with deeper understanding recognize that quiet often precedes a profound shift. It's when the foundation is being reinforced, when an unseen force is orchestrating details behind the curtain. You might not perceive anything right now, but movement is happening in ways that defy simple explanation. This stillness is a strategic pause. When the universe is quiet, it's often because it's revealing what truly resides within you. Anyone can feel grateful when good fortune is obvious, but can you still hold trust when the skies are mute? Can you continue to walk forward when the trail vanishes? Can you still believe in a benevolent force when nothing in your reality makes sense? These are the inquiries that shape your path. This quiet isn't meant to harm you, it's meant to refine you. It strips away the world's constant chatter so your core can feel the quiet certainty that a greater process is still unfolding. It conceals its voice temporarily so you learn to stand firm on belief, not on visible proof. Look back on your journey. The periods you felt most alone were frequently the moments you were actually being supported most closely. Remember the instances you couldn't fathom why paths ended, why connections dissolved, why chances seemed to fade. You grieved, you hoped, you asked for a sign. But now, in reflection, can you perceive that the quiet was a form of grace? That it shielded you from something that would have shattered your inner peace? That it was preparing a reality far richer than what you were pleading for? This universal quiet is not a penalty. It is preservation. And when it breaks, the resulting shift will resonate more powerfully than every question you ever uttered. Sometimes this quiet is an instruction for you to become still, to cease striving, stop talking, stop attempting to mend everything with your own limited power. When guidance stops, it is a call to truly hear, to calm your thoughts, and allow a greater intelligence to take the lead. Because the more we fight to manage what only a grander design can handle, the longer the quiet persists. But when you release control, when you finally affirm, I don't need to have all the answers, I just need to maintain my trust, that is the precise moment the energy begins to turn. That is when the quiet starts to dissolve. And when it dissolves, it does so with immense force. One shift in the pattern can alter everything that years of striving could not. You see, the universe often communicates most powerfully through what it permits, through the weight, through the blocked path, through the release. It is in those moments of disorientation and sorrow that your awareness becomes attuned to its perfect rhythm. The quiet teaches you that good things are not manufactured by your haste, but are granted by a purposeful design. When the quiet remains, don't misinterpret it as disregard. You are not being overlooked. Everything in your world is being aligned for the precise moment. If the answer came prematurely, you would be unprepared. If the path cleared too soon, you might lack the fortitude to traverse it. So the quiet remains, not from a lack of compassion, but from an abundance of care that refuses to offer you anything less than what is truly meant for you. There is something deeply significant about the quiet before a major life shift. It is the deep breath before a surge of meaningful activity. It is the pause before a new reality speaks into your situation. Consider the deep dark just before sunrise. The entire earth is hushed, but it isn't lifeless. It's anticipating. And when the sun finally crests the horizon, everything is made new. The same holds true for your life at this very moment. You may be standing in shadow, questioning if illumination will ever return, but within that very quiet, a dawn is being prepared that will flood every hidden corner with radiant light. When the shift occurs, it won't be a minor adjustment. It will be a complete renewal. The reason many dread quiet is because it lays bare the foundation of what we actually believe. It shows whether our trust is based on transient emotions or on an unshakable core. Anyone can feel confident when life is flowing smoothly, but when the skies are mute, when the solution doesn't appear, that is when the true depth of your conviction is tested. This universal quiet distinguishes the steadfast from the wavering. It purifies your belief until you can state, "Even if I perceive nothing, I know the process is still at work." That caliber of faith can change realities. That caliber of faith calls forth transformation. There are times when this quiet feels overwhelming. You may hope day after night, pleading for a response, and all you encounter is calm. You may feel invisible, passed by, unseen. But understand this: every sigh is witnessed. Every silent plea is registered. You are not being ignored. The moment is being stored up when a new energy will erupt into your experience. The quiet you perceive is the space before the fulfillment. It is the sacred interval between your asking and its arrival. And when the universe finally speaks into that quiet, the resulting change will not only address your request, it will soothe the very pain of the waiting period. Sometimes the shift is not the specific thing you requested, but what a higher wisdom knows you truly require. You may have hoped for one outcome, and the quiet may have felt harsh. But when the answer manifests, you will realize the quiet was there because something far beyond your own vision was being constructed. This universal quiet is its workshop. It is where your character is shaped, your resilience is fortified, and you are made ready to steward the weight of the blessing. When it speaks, it will not merely meet your need, it will surpass it. Think of a bulb resting under the winter earth. It's cold, it's isolated, it appears inactive. But in that quiet, a profound process is underway. Foundations are spreading, development is occurring in secret, and when the season turns, that bulb pushes through the soil, utterly changed. That is precisely what is happening in your quiet. You may feel stuck, but you are not stuck. You are rooted. You may feel overlooked, but you are being nurtured in a hidden space. And when the shift comes, the new reality will emerge, vibrant and unquestionable, and all will witness what was being done the entire time. This quiet is never wasted. Every silent season holds an intention. Sometimes it remains to guide your focus back to the essential. Because in the rush of daily life, we often stray. We occupy our hours with distractions and our heads with anxieties. But when familiar guidance withdraws, suddenly nothing else fulfills. Suddenly you yearn for that core connection again. The quiet pulls you closer, teaching you to rely on its presence, not its presence. And when your spirit is realigned with its flow, its voice returns not as a faint hint, but as a clear announcement of purpose. The change you are awaiting is not solely about altering your external conditions. It's about altering you. The process is more invested in the evolution of your soul than the modification of your surroundings. The quiet is molding your essence, teaching you perseverance, deepening your reliance,
Because when the shift arrives, you must be resilient enough to contain it. You must be centered enough to safeguard it. You must be humble enough to attribute the glory solely to the process itself. That is the purpose of the quiet. It has been building you into a person capable of carrying the magnitude of its gift. There is a natural rhythm to this universal quiet. It is the rhythm of patience, of trust, of growth. Every pause has a divine timing behind it. You may not comprehend it now, but one day you will feel gratitude for every hope that seemed to go unanswered, every season of quiet, every instant that compelled you to lean on faith alone. Because in those moments, you were not being penalized, you were being positioned. You were creating space for a shift so significant that only the universe itself could initiate it.
And when it speaks, it doesn't always use audible words. Sometimes it speaks through circumstances, through individuals, through moments that seem mundane but bear a profound significance. A path suddenly becomes clear. A long-held aspiration finally finds its time. A condition that appeared fixed begins to soften. These are not accidents. They are the universe's voice in motion. Its shifts are its dialect. Its gifts are its statements. Its timing is its punctuation. And when it speaks through your shift, it will rewrite the entire narrative of your struggle. You may not see it yet, but a change is on the horizon. The quiet has been present, but it is reaching its end. You've been moving through a concealed phase, but a revealing is coming. The hopes that felt unattended have reached their destined moment. The patience that was required has nourished the soil of your transformation. The universal quiet is breaking, and its voice will manifest as momentum, support, renewal, and calm. The very arena where you felt the most intense ache will become the platform for your most powerful story. Do not let hopelessness persuade you that quiet means failure. The process is not finished. It is about to speak. And when it does, you will comprehend the reason for the wait. You will see how every blocked route was essential, how every delay saved you, how every season of calm taught you resilience. The universe's methods are more elevated than yours. Its timing is more insightful than your schemes. Its quiet was not negligence. It was precision in action. It has been setting the scene for a shift that will not only change your situation, but will also elevate your consciousness. When the universe speaks through a shift, it is unambiguous. No one can take the credit. No rationalization can substitute for the wonder. You will know that it was the universe, and the universe alone. The same quiet that once alarmed you will become your story. You will affirm, "If I had not journeyed through that quiet, I would never have understood the depth of this universal power." Because it is only in quiet that faith develops roots deep enough to sustain the weight of the transformation. So raise your gaze. Don't focus on what you can't perceive. Concentrate on what you know to be true. You know that the process is reliable. You know that its principle never falters. You know that its quiet does not mean absence. Keep moving even when you perceive nothing. Keep believing even when you see nothing, because soon the quiet will transition. The voice of the universe will resonate through your life in ways you cannot currently conceive. And when it speaks, the very world around you will feel its influence. You have not been forgotten. You have not been deserted. The universe is about to speak into your life with unmistakable clarity. The shift is already taking form. The answer is already decided. The gift is already arranged. The quiet was merely the space between the asking and the realization. And when that realization arrives, it will come swiftly, abundantly, magnificently. You will reflect on this quiet season not with resentment, but with appreciation, because it was in the quiet that your trust was forged. It was in the quiet that you uncovered what the universe truly is, not just the force that speaks,
but the force that sustains you.
The quiet of the universe is never void. It's saturated with potential, filled with power, filled with unseen progression. And right now, even if you cannot hear it, even if you cannot sense it, the quiet is stirring, because the universe is about to speak. And when it speaks, the shift will resonate more loudly than the quiet ever could. When the universe has been quiet for an extended time, it frequently signifies that something exceptional is about to emerge. You see, quiet is not the lack of action, it is the sound of preparation. It is the arena where destinies are formed, promises are honed, and faith is validated. The universe does not hurry its work. It does not act in rush. When it moves with flawless timing. And when it finally speaks after being quiet, the words that emerge are not hollow. They carry the force of creation itself. They break down walls, remove heavy loads, and awaken the very vitality that seemed asleep within you. You must absorb this truth into the core of your being. Quiet is never an indicator that the universe has departed. It is a sign that it trusts you to endure the unseen. It trusts you to hold on when you cannot perceive its guidance. When the universe conceals its face, it is teaching you to trust its hand. When it withholds direct communication, it is examining your heart. For it is in quiet that faith expands without evidence, and it is in stillness that your inner being learns to truly listen. The noise of everyday existence can muffle the subtle guidance of the universe, but quiet clears the atmosphere so that you may perceive its authentic voice when it finally arrives. Every significant movement begins in hushed tones. Before the daybreak comes the tranquility of the night. Before the river flows freely, there is the holding back of the waters. Before new life starts, there is quiet in the place of origin. The pattern never varies. Its quiet is always a signal that creation is happening in the unseen. And when the moment is perfect, what it has been forming in the hidden will suddenly step into the light. Do not resent the quiet, for it is the very ground from which miracles grow. Many individuals surrender their trust during the waiting, but those who comprehend the ways of the universe know that delay is a strategic part of the design. It delays to protect you from a blessing for which you are not yet ready. It withholds to equip you for a sacred abundance. When the universe is quiet, it means it is synchronizing your life with its grander blueprint. If you could witness what it is arranging behind the veil, you would not protest the quiet. You would find a way to honor the process within it. Because while you're fretting in uncertainty, the universe is positioning the elements that will construct your transformation. This is a time when you must practice patience. This is where your linebacker must optimize the doctor and resolve to trust even through confusion. And when the universe finally speaks, the words will break through like lightning in the night. Edge and honor has controlled universal change all through history, and every time you think it has forgotten to speak, you must recall that it does not depart, it prepares. The mark of a true believer is found in his or her ability to deal with the silence of the universe. It is in those moments of emptiness that the real strength of faith is revealed. It is easy to show trust when things are going well, but to persevere in the hardship of uncertainty is a true test of character. The universe's silence is not an absence, but a presence, a kind of deeper presence. It is a space where miracles are in the making, where your framework of time is being aligned with its eternal purposes. Some of you have been in that quiet for years. You've hoped with tears, and the skies seemed sealed. You've doubted your value, your reason for being, your very place in the world. But I tell you, your quiet has not been squandered. The universe has been observing every unspoken worry, collecting every tear, considering every thought. It has been sculpting you into someone who can hold what it is about to release. The quiet has not been a cage, it has been a curriculum. And when the universe breaks that quiet, It will not just change your current chapter, it will change your entire life. There is a sacred gravity to divine timing. When the universe finally speaks, everything it has intended comes rushing in like a tidal wave. That is why it waits, so that when it happens with overwhelming completeness. There are phases when the universe moves gradually, but there are also phases when it moves suddenly. You may have been waiting for years, but when its appointed time arrives, your reality can pivot in a single day. The same quiet that tested you will become the gateway to rapid acceleration. Do not let restlessness ruin your promise. Many people forfeit their transformation because they cannot withstand the quiet. They rush ahead of the process, trying to manufacture what only it can complete. But trust is not just believing the universe can speak. It's relying on it when it doesn't. It's maintaining your hold when there's no proof. It's declaring, even if I perceive nothing, I still know the universe is at work. That caliber of trust stirs the unseen realms. That caliber of trust makes the quiet sacred. Quiet also distinguishes the authentic from the imitation. When the universe is quiet, the insincere fall away. Those who seek it only for its gifts lose interest, but those who value it for what it is, not for what it provides, draw nearer. That's why the quiet is holy. It reveals the genuine adherence. When you can affirm, "Universe, I still place my trust in you while your hopes seem to go unanswered," then you have touched the very heart of true trust. You have arrived at the place where transformation is born. Sometimes the universe's quiet is its method of allowing opposition to believe it has prevailed. It permits challenges to seem victorious, to taunt, to assume they have succeeded just before it responds with overwhelming force. The quiet of the universe often comes right before the defeat of your greatest obstacles, because when it speaks, it doesn't just reassure you, it astonishes those who doubted you. The quiet makes the shift irrefutable. It becomes evidence that what you received did not come from human effort, but from the universe itself. You may not be aware of it now, but your quiet has been training your awareness for precision. When the universe finally speaks, you will not mistake its voice for any other. You will not confuse human logic for universal direction. The quiet has made your perception sharp, your judgment clear, your heart open. The calm has incinerated distractions so that when the shift arrives, you will identify it immediately. You will not ascribe it to fortune or accident. You will know in the deepest part of your soul that it was the universe. There are moments when quiet feels dense, like an intangible pressure against your spirit. You want solutions, but all you get is serenity. You want illumination, but the horizon remains unchanged. Yet even there, in that density, the universe is present. It is teaching you how to navigate by inner knowing, not by external signals. Because if it communicated too frequently, you would depend on its messages instead of its essence. Sometimes it is quiet because it desires for you to cease seeking a roadmap and start seeking its presence. When you do that, its voice will return not as mere information, but as transformative power. Let me share something profound with you. When the universe breaks its quiet, it often does so through the very source of your previous pain. The injury becomes the opening for its brilliance. The place where you were turned away becomes the place where you are recognized. The situation that looked like a defeat becomes the foundation of your victory. This is how the universe operates. It uses the quiet to mold the container, and then it fills it with a shift so magnificent that no one can question its artistry. You see, quiet builds stamina. It teaches you to keep walking when you can't discern the destination. It teaches you to keep planting when the harvest seems impossible. It teaches you to keep hoping when your voice wavers. And stamina produces resilience. By the time the universe speaks, you are no longer the individual who started the journey.
You have become tough, grounded, and unshakable. That inner change is the true miracle, because what the universe accomplishes within you is always more significant than what it does around you. When the quiet finally concludes, do not be startled if the universe speaks in unforeseen ways. It may not answer the specific question you posed. It may disclose something more fundamental. You might ask for a doorway, but it might construct for you a whole new home. You might ask for an escape, but it might grant you the ability to soar above the situation. The universe's responses are rarely what we anticipate, but they are always precisely what we need. The quiet was never arbitrary. It was the incubator for something far exceeding your imagination. So, if you find yourself in that silent space today, don't be afraid. Don't presume the universe has revoked its favor. The quiet may actually be your signal. It means the universe is close, not distant. It means it is preparing to unveil something that will transform your comprehension of what it is. The greatest understandings often arrive after the most prolonged silences. When it speaks, your uncertainty will turn into understanding, your sorrow into celebration, your apprehension into boldness. You will see that every silent moment held a purpose. And when that moment arrives, when the universe's voice breaks through, everything you endured will find its meaning. The quiet will abruptly seem brief compared to the shift that follows. Every tear you shed will become energy for thankfulness. Every hope you whispered in the dark will become a story of overcoming. The quiet will recede into the past, but the shift will reverberate for a lifetime. So hold steady. Do not release your trust in this calm interval. Let the quiet clarify your heart, not corrupt your optimism. Because right now, as you wait, the universe is composing a story that will leave you breathless with wonder. You will not just hear its voice, you will witness its action. You will not just receive a gift, you will become a conduit of blessing for others. The same quiet that once tested you will one day speak for you. It will proclaim the universe was quiet, but then it spoke, and everything was transformed. So examine your inner world tonight. Ask yourself, what has the universe been showing me through the quiet? Have you permitted the waiting to make you resentful, or has it made you more resilient? Have you ceased listening because you grew weary, or are you still attentive for its subtle nudges? The universe is inviting you to awaken once more, to rise above the sound of letdown and listen for the stillness that contains its power. The quiet was never barren, it was filled with its presence. It was the universe stating, "Be still and know that I am here." Let your trust ascend again. Let your inner self stand tall, even if your external reality remains unchanged for now. The quiet does not mean the narrative is finished. It means the author is about to inscribe something breathtaking. Lift your gaze toward the vastness and release everything you cannot command. Say within yourself, "Universe, even if you remain quiet a little longer, I will not cease trusting. I will not cease believing. I will not cease waiting." That surrender is not defeat, it is potency. Because when you finally yield to the universe's timing, its power begins to flow unobstructed through your life. And when you emerge from this quiet, emerge revitalized, emerge with intention burning in your soul, emerge with a trust that no storm can dismantle. Let the quiet that once frightened you become your bedrock. Let it remind you that you are connected to a force that is never tardy, never distant, never too quiet to be concerned. Let it remind you that your hope was never in individuals, never in results, never in the clock. It was always in the universe itself. It alone is your source, your foundation, your unchanging constant in every season of quiet and every flash of insight. So proceed now not with anxiety, but with anticipation. Lift your head, open your spirit, and trust that the force that was quiet is still communicating through your trust, through your endurance, through your willingness to believe. Every breath you take in trust becomes a hope that ascends before it. Every step you take in alignment becomes a seed that will yield a harvest in its perfect time. The quiet will break. The shift will come. And when it does, you will know that the one who held you in the calm has now spoken with power into your life.
And in that moment, you will not speak of your own strength or your own patience. You will lift your hands and say, "Universe, you were there all along." Because it was, it is, and it always will be. So hold on, stay constant, and let your heart remain anchored in its promise. For when the universe has been quiet, it has not been still. And when it speaks, every facet of your existence will know that it is. The quiet is not a cage, it is a curriculum. You are not stuck, you are rooted. If this message found you in your season of waiting, please support this community by liking this video and subscribing to Winds of Thought for more insights to guide your journey.